Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Viaglo. If you are new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a part-time reseller on apps like Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, Vinted, and Curtsy. I am very much so part-time because I do have a full-time job. So we'll get right into the video. So I thought it'd be a good idea to discuss the 5 reselling platforms that I currently resell on. And I also want to give you guys a disclaimer that I've started all of these sites different times, so of course my sales are going to be different. And then 2, I do not offload all of my inventory on all of these sites. Now, I'm sure that is what is stunting my growth, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like my fingers get so tired. So I try to only list them on the, what do you call them? My main platforms. And right now my main platforms are Depop and Poshmark. Mercari has for sure slowed down for me, but I do have new inventory and I'm gonna be getting that out tomorrow because I wanna start April pretty fresh. So I'm gonna be relisting, taking new photos. I'm going to be doing all of that jazz tomorrow, and I'll make sure I do a video to show you guys my updated process of everything. So like I was telling you guys before, that this video is going to be about the 5 different reselling platforms that I resell on, and I'm going to be doing it in a criteria base. So I have 7 bullet points that I'll be doing on each reselling platform. So the list is, and if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my handy dandy. So the criteria that I'll be going off when I discuss each one of these reselling apps is the seller's fee, user base, photo style, how fast the item will sell, the engagement needed on the app, how many sales I personally have, and then what's my personal experience with that particular app. So let's get started. So the seller's fee, it is different on all platforms. So I'll start off with the one that is the least amount, and that is Vinted. Vinted does not have a seller's fee. It's actually a great thing that they don't. However, you do have to price your items really fucking low, because with them not having a seller's fee, it works to your benefit. So that means nobody is taking a cut of your money. However, Vinted is just, it's a whole different crowd over there. I'll have to do like I may have to do a video on that one if you guys are interested. If not, I completely understand, because it's a whole different beast. But it does work to some people's benefit. I do see one reseller over there making a bunch of bank. But for everybody, it's different. Everybody has their own platform and all that fun shit. So Vinted is 0. Okay. Depop and Mercari both have a 12.9% fee that they charge. For Depop, 10% goes to actual Depop. The 2.9%, if you were paying through Depop payments, is going to Depop payments. But if your buyer is purchasing through PayPal, that 2.9% will go to PayPal. So they kind of have it split up. So it's the actual fee, which is 10%, and then the 2.9% really goes as the processing fee, more so than anything. And then on Mercari, it's the exact same way. Mercari have been doing 10% for the longest, and then they implemented the 2.9% some time ago. I can't remember, but it definitely does make a difference in your sales. So always make sure you price accordingly. And then Poshmark and Curtsy, they both have a 20% cut. Now, I'm not really sure why Curtsy's is so high, especially given the fact they don't have a lot of people on their app. But yeah, so they're both sitting at 20% for the fee that they charge you to list on their site. So it's a little bit of a scam, but it is what it is. So the user base on Curtsy, will start with the smallest amount to the most amount. So Curtsy, when I Googled this, they said several hundred thousands. So that means that they don't really have even an accurate number or close to it, a good approximate of how many people. Several hundred thousands. Also keep in mind that Curtsy is woman based. So that's probably why their user interface is not like a lot, because it's only for women. So that might be a good thing and that may be a bad thing. So who knows? And then Depop comes in with a whopping 20 million on their site. Now Depop is in different countries as well. So it's more so geared to, I want to say London or the UK, because that's where it originated from, and then they just made a USA one or whatever and they're like making other little countries and whatnot, but it's 20 million there. And then we have Vinted with 34 million, and they're across 11 different countries. Now, I believe that I'm sure that this 34 million is actually only like for all of it, not just America, because I'm sure America is much smaller. Vinted isn't really a well-known site. Vinted is more well-known in other countries than it is in the US. And then Mercari has a whopping 45 million people on their user base. Mercari is a pretty good melting pot of everything. That's the one thing I can say about Mercari. You have everybody from different demographics on Mercari. It's just not subjected to younger audience, because I don't think I told you guys, but well, in my Depop video, Depop is more so geared toward the younger audience, you know, 25 and under. Not saying that older people can't do it, because here I am, 28 on that app. However, it is more so geared toward the younger crowd, more so, you know, Generation Z. And then you have Poshmark, where it's geared toward more older women, or older people, not just older women, older people. But yeah, so Poshmark has 70 million users on their app. Now, Poshmark is a whole different breed, but Poshmark is a pretty good platform to resell on, and I really highly suggest, if you are a reseller and you are coming up a little, how do you say, dry in other reselling apps, definitely open up to Poshmark. Now, it is a bit of a headache, but I promise you, you will not regret it, because I tried to get into Poshmark 3 times. I mean 3 times, because the first time it was too much going on. Like, I was so overwhelmed. It was just like so many notifications, so many notifications. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get this shit off my phone. And then I did. And then the second time I tried, I was just like, this is so old. But then the third time, I was like, bitch, you gonna get it together. And I promise you I got it together, because I had got a sale within like 2 or 3 days. Once I became back active on there, 2 or 3 days I got a sale. And then the next day I got another sale. And then within a couple more days I got another sale. And then another sale. And I was like, oh yeah, bitch, you should have been over here. Okay, you fucked up. You should have been over here. So that's where I'm at now. So here we are. So the photo style best for the app, I truly feel like Curtsy invented the best photo style is hanger photos. Now, to some, it's a little sloppy, whatever the case is. I personally actually like hanger photos, and I dabbled in try-on photos. I've dabbled in flat lay photos, and hanger photos as well, so I'm across the board. But I do feel that Vinted and Curtsy do well with hanger photos, 100%. As far as Poshmark, I do believe mannequins and stock photos are the best photo style. So if you have a mannequin, or if you know, can find stock photos, which you definitely can, I think those would be better for your cover photos on Poshmark. And then when it comes to Mercari, a hanger or a flat lay would work best on Mercari, like 100% hanger, flat lay. Depop, 100% try on. Like, you have to try your outfit on, because like I said, the user base is the younger generation, and I'm not really sure what they're hung up on as looking at people try things on, but they are. So I would definitely recommend trying it on, and then also watching my Depop video, because I go more in depth with this, watching my Mercari video, because I go more in depth with this. So yeah, just make sure y'all check those out after you finish this one, because I promise you, I promise, I got some good tips on there. So make sure y'all go check it out. Just, you know, after this one, just finish this and then go and click and watch both of them. You know, just thought I'd help, you know. Okay, so we are moving on to the next one, and this one is how fast your item will sell. Okay, so I put that all apps, low prices, and sought after. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So naturally, when you have low prices, it does not matter if they need this item or not, they will purchase it. I've done it multiple times while scrolling on Depop and Mercari. I'll be just randomly looking for something, and I see that the price is really low. I'm gonna buy it. I want to say maybe about 8 times out of 10 I'm going to end up reselling it because the price is pretty low. But I'm telling you, if you want to just, you know, get your item out there, just have low prices, because people are going to bite. They're going to bite every time. And then also if your item is sought after, so naturally whatever is in trend, like I know we don't really like to follow the trends, we like to just do random shit, but if it is in trend, that means that it is sought after. That means that you can charge more for it. And I know that this works a lot on Depop, so a lot. What's so cool about Curtsy, and well, actually I want to say most of them, because they all do that, but I kind of turned my notifications off so I wouldn't get all of them, but Depop comes through for whatever reason, and Poshmark comes through my laptop for whatever reason. But they all send you what's in trend at that moment. So usually that works for somebody that is a thrifter like myself, because you know what people are searching for more, so you know what to go look for in the thrift store. So I definitely would pay attention to what they're telling you, what is on trend. Also on Depop, you want to look at the explore page, because the explore page is going to show you what is popular at that moment, so that can, you know, get you out there to go grab some shit. Okay, so with Curtsy, you can list and go, but you can promo your items in bulk. Now, I love that aspect of it. I love that I can just go on there and then just hit promote, and then it'll promote all of it. However, this is not good after a while, because I found myself doing it, you know, every couple of days, and I was getting no hits. I mean, absolutely no hits. So I stopped, because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose too much money. You still want to make a profit. So I wouldn't recommend promoting constantly. I still don't know their algorithm. I don't know if they bump up the new item first, whichever is listed. I don't know how they do it. I just assume that the promo is what's getting you back at the top, because people is looking. If I'm thinking about it in a case of like how Macari is, once you promo, they bump your shit right back at the top. So that's what I'm assuming it is on Curtsy. And then Vinted, you're able to list and go as well over there. You'll most likely, I wrote this down, I said you'll most likely forget about the app, because it's just there. That's the only thing that I didn't really like about the app, is that it is very much so there. You get a lot of likers. It's kind of almost like Depop. I ain't gonna even think about that. It's kind of like Depop. Like, you get a lot of people that like your items. You do not have an option to send out a mass one to all the likers. You have to individually send out, you know, offers to likers, which absolutely sucks. And the worst part about it is that the offers do not expire. They just sit in the potential buyer's inbox the whole time. So it's kind of like, this is stupid. But yeah, so Vinted is very much so different, like very much so different, really different. And then also on Vinted, you're able to bump your items. And now this is why I think that they do not have a seller's fee, because they do the bumping. So with the bumping on Curtsy, on Macari, you're able to promote your items so they can show back up at the top. Now on Vinted, you have to bump them, and when you bump them, that means that you are paying 95 cents per bump. So that means that of course your items are going to be placed at the top, but on Vinted, their algorithm is a little bit weird, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually like their algorithm out of all of them, because your home page, okay, when you first sign up for the app, they ask you, what do you like? And you pick things out. So let's just say PacSun, Free People, Reformation. So when I go to my home screen every day, or every time I go on the app, it will show me things that is related exactly like that. So I'll see bras, t-shirts, jeans, shoes, and everything will be in my size, which is fucking great, because they curate your home feed for you. So you don't get to, you can follow people, don't get me wrong, you can follow people, and that'll mix in with everything that you said that you like, you know, the brands that you like. But they curate it specifically for you. So they have your sizes and everything, which, like I said, I think it's great. I think it's great how they have that. Most of these apps should have it just like that. But they were definitely onto something. But that bumping I'm not sure if they're unlimited. At one point they gave me 3 free bumps, and naturally I bumped all of my high price items, and I was getting likes, but I wasn't getting any hits. So I was like, is this really useful or not? But they'll give you like an update on, like, you know, how many people seen your item and shit like that. But it's still, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that it's worth it. 95 cents. But then again, you can sit here and think, like, you know, the seller's fee. You sell a shirt for $10, they're getting their dollar cut on other apps. So I don't know, everybody's different. I personally am not going to be paying for that, but if you pay for it, more power to you. Not for me. Okay. And then we have Poshmark. Lord Jesus. You definitely have to be very active on the app. There's no list and go. They need you to reshare people's closets. They need you to reshare your closet. Sometimes people talk about how they copy their listing, relist it again when it's, you know, when it's stale, if you will. So that app is very much so active, which is kind of annoying because some people don't have time to sit there and do that, and me personally, I don't have time to actively reshare all the time because I do work. Like, I work a full-time job, unfortunately. So, did I say unfortunately? I work a full-time job, so I'm not able to be on my phone all the time. And when it comes to Poshmark and Depop, both of those apps require you to, I don't even want to say require, because Depop does not require you. However, it will help with your sales if you do it. But yeah, so Poshmark just really wants you to be engaged, to be a good seller on there, if you will. I actually have a video for Depop and Mercari. I'll put them over here on the screen, and then I'll also link them below so you guys can check that out. I really go more in depth with those because I have had those apps for over a year, and I wanted to share my experience because I have made a lot of money on each one of those apps, and I wanted to give y'all everything that I have learned, all the tricks, the tips, the hacks, everything you can possibly think of are on both of those videos. I have everything broken down, and it's only 8 minutes. So just invest those 8 minutes, get your notepad and everything, and just, you know, write everything down so you can be successful on Depop and Mercari. And I promise you, I'll have a more updated one of these videos when my sales starts to pick up on each one of these new apps that I just started. So let's move on. We are almost done, y'all. Like, I appreciate y'all for sticking by and just, you know, staying here with me. Just truck it along just a little bit longer. We almost done. We almost done. Okay, so the sales that I personally have gotten on these apps. So we'll start off with the least to the most. So Curtsy, I've only made 2 sales over there. Vinted, I made 3. Poshmark, I made 23. Depop, I made 103 plus bundles. And then Mercari, I made 203 sales. So, like I said, for those last 2, for Depop and Mercari, definitely go and watch my videos for them because I promise you I'm giving y'all all the tea on everything. And as far as Depop goes, I know for a fact I made a lot more sales than 103. However, they don't have it to where you're able to like track everything back. Like, they don't. They're not like how Mercari is. And I was able to go on Mercari and, like, you know, which I thought was kind of dope because when I went and looked at my Mercari, it said that I had 170 sales. But when I actually like scrolled down and looked at all the bundles that I had made, that made 203 sales versus the 170 sales that I had. So I know Depop, I definitely made a lot more than 103, but we'll keep that because I can't really go and, like, you know, check and everything. But yeah, so those are my sales. Hell to the no, to the no, 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 hell no, no, to the no. And then lastly, my experience on each one of these apps. So I'll try to keep the stories kind of short. Somebody on Curtsy sent me a offer for a plaid jacket, and of course I was excited because, you know, it was a really good profit for me because I'm a thrifter, so I was gonna make a little bit of a come up. So I was like, girl, yes. And then I hit accept, and her payment was declined. So I was like, fuck. So then I went and messaged her and I was like, hey, it said it was declined or some shit like that, or is everything okay? What, I don't know. And she never responded. And I was like, really? Anyways, so I let it be, because shit happens. And then on Vinted, 2 sellers didn't ship my items. Now, when I first got on Vinted, like I said, Vinted is a very, very, very cheap app. And I mean very cheap. When people go on there, they actually listen to the app where the app recommends what the price should be. So sometimes let's say you list a Urban Outfitters shirt and it's telling you, it's recommended to list this at $3. Some people actually follow that. So these particular sellers, they actually was following that. And on top of that, with Vinted, you're able to give people up to 50% off on, let's say, 5 items. So both of these sellers at different times, they both had a whole bunch of items that I personally could resell for a much higher profit. So naturally, I threw everything in the cart. And since it was 50% off, like, I was getting a bomb ass deal. I think it was like $20 or $18 for like 5 different things, plus shipping with it. So I was like, hell yeah, bitch. So both of them, one of them was like, oh, I'll ship it out tomorrow. And then the other one, got back to me with how much the shipping fee was going to be. So I was like, okay, so it's a response here. It wasn't like, they ghosted me, if you will, or they just never, tried to help. So next thing I know, time goes on. I'm like, dang, like, when am I going to get my shit? Vinted is like, hey, we refunded you for this. We refunded you for this. And I'm like, bruh. So I don't know if they knew that I was a reseller or some shit happened on their end. I don't know what it was, but it was like, really? I was real annoyed, but shit happens. So then on Poshmark, I recently actually talked about this on my on my February sales, but it was just a serial lowballer on Poshmark that I had never dealt with a customer like that ever since I've been reselling for over a year now. It was an incident when I first started, of course, not knowing anything about scammers and fetishers, or however you pronounce that word. So some lady, and I assumed it was a lady because I went and looked at all of the likes, and it was a whole bunch of track jackets. And she had messaged me a long thing, and she was just asking a lot about this track jacket, and it was just a Columbia windbreaker, like whatever. She was asking about the material, not even the measurements, which is crazy, but she was just asking about the material. Is the zipper broke? And something about, does it cinch at the waist? And could I do a video of me zipping it, up and down, and like, cinching it or whatever. So then of course I do it because I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make a fucking sale. So yes, I will do it. So I do it and I wait, and I'm not gonna lie, I think I waited like a full day. And that next day, I actually didn't like the video because I was like, I had my hat on, like I threw a wig on, because I wasn't looking good up here. I just wanted to make a quick video because I thought that they were gonna actually purchase it once they, saw the video. So a day goes by, I see that this person has been active this whole time. So then I'm like, okay. So then I deleted the video because I'm like, the way Depop has it set up, whatever, if you do have a video, they'll make that as your cover photo. And me being who I am, it threw off my whole little feng shui of how my shop looked, because I got all these nice photos in the midst of this ugly ass video. So I deleted it. I deleted the video. So then they messaged me like, hey, I didn't get to see the video, or I didn't see it, could you put it back up? So I just blocked them because I'm like, I know you've seen it, like, don't be weird. Come to find out, it's people that do that, because I actually seen on one of the subs on Reddit that a girl was saying that somebody had did that to her as well, and I was like, wow. And I'm sure this didn't happen so many times. It's just not, her and me. I'm sure it happened a lot. Fucking weirdo. And then it was another person. I had some Uggs that I kept going back and forth with. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would list them and then I'd be like, no, these are in great condition. I don't think that I should sell these. And so I would list them and then I would take them off, list them, take them off. So I was like, fuck it. I had listed them for the last time, and this guy messaged me and he was like, hey, could you do a try on? So naturally for me, I'm like, that's kind of weird because they're fucking Uggs. But then when I go to his likes, I see that it's other Uggs that he's liked. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, maybe he's gonna be buying these for himself or his girlfriend or whoever. So I tried them on, and he had been active because on Depop, they show you at the top, active today, or active this week, or active last week. Like they show you at the top, you know, when the last time that this user has been active. So he asked for try-on pics of me with the Uggs on and walking in them. So naturally I'm like, okay. So I do it because it's nothing, you know, bad. So I wait a day like I did with the other lady, and nothing comes of it. So then I deleted it. He never responded. He never, you know, messaged me back or anything. I was like, you fucking creep. So I think that's just a fetish type shit. So that was an experience on Depop. And then on Mercari, I had a few, but they weren't really scams, but they felt like scams to me because it was my items. So 3 different times, well actually one time, I sent the wrong item. Now this is when I was getting a little sloppy with my reselling. So I had just, what is it called? I had just sourced these leggings, and then I had got these ones from a thrift store. Actually no, I think I sourced both of them online. They were pretty cheap on Depop. So then I was reselling them on Mercari. So it was a pair of leggings that I had really liked that I had never seen before from Adidas. So I was like, I'm gonna keep these. So then I put them in my actual drawer. And then the other leggings, I tried to keep, during that time, I tried to keep all of the reselling items like kind of stacked up in my closet. And when I got the shipping label and all of that from this girl, I sent her the wrong leggings. And to this day, I must have been doing multiple sales during that time. She had sent a refund request in, and I messaged her like, hey, what's going on? She was like, oh, you sent me the wrong item. And I was like, oh my God. And at the time, I didn't know that I had pulled from my personal closet. So I assumed that I got her package mixed up with somebody else's. So that's what I told her. I'm like, oh shoot, I must have mixed up your package with somebody else. Shipping labels must have been switched, whatever the case. She was like, oh, no problem. So then I asked her, I was like, so what was it? What did you receive? She was like, oh, some Adidas leggings. And her leggings were actually Nike leggings. So Nike, they were thicker ones. But anyways, so I was like, oh shit, I took from my closet. So I was actually happy. I was a little relieved, like, okay, so it won't be, you know, 2 bad things against me where another buyer's like, hey, you sent me the wrong item, and then, you know, her wrong item. So I was like, okay, whew. But I told her like, hey, since the way that Mercari works, when they get a refund and it's under $15, Mercari will release the money to the seller. So I got my money, but then they also refund the buyer, and the buyer gets to keep the item. Now, that bothered me because, like I said, I really wanted these leggings. I actually have not seen these leggings anywhere. So I was upset. So I messaged her back and I was like, hey, do you think you can I was like, do you think you can list the leggings, and then I'll pay for them to get them back, and then I'll list yours. Now, that was gonna be kind of like an even exchange to me. So she was like, yeah, and I was like, let me know when you list them or whatever. She was like, okay. Days go by. So then I messaged her again. I was like, hey, do you know when you'll list them? And she was like, oh, I've been really busy, but I'll get around to it. Okay, a week goes by. So by that time, I was like super irritated. So I just blocked her because I was so annoyed, because I'm like, you bitch, just say you want to keep them. You might as well just say you want to keep them. But that happened. But then 2 other things happened similar to that, but not really like what had happened initially. So 2 buyers said that I had, one buyer said that the description was not as described, and she was partially right, because I think I had put like 100% silk, or no, I put 100% cashmere, but it was only like 50% cashmere. And then another person had said that the jeans weren't high rise. Now, I never listed them as high rise, and I did have the waist and inseam and rise on there. So that's to your interpretation to measure yourself and see where they would lay on you. So they ended up refunding them and releasing me my money. But I know the lady with the cashmere jacket, I'm sure she just was like trying to get cut a deal. I think the other lady truly was like feeling some type of way, so I'm sure she was gonna resell those. But yeah, those are my only experiences on these apps. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I see that my channel is like slowly growing, and I'm like so appreciative of it. So if you want to be a part of my little, you know what I'm saying, little family, go ahead and subscribe. I mean, you might as well just, you know, like and then subscribe. No, I'm just kidding.